Y'all get ready?
Yes, you get ready.
If you want the latest news in the streets, join us and tune in for the tea. Breaking news with integrity. So tell your friends and your family. It's the Lovelyti TV show, bringing you good tea and good vibes. It's the Lovelyti TV show. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe.
A lot of people have been asking me about the whole Black Panther situation with Commander Birdsong. I think that's his name. So, as we all know, there's been all this stuff with the Black Panthers that have been coming up on everybody's timeline. Even when I was live last week, he had came up on my timeline, and they're basically the new Black Panther Party for self-defense. They're out there with guns. They're out there in Philly. They're doing food programs, helping people who are less fortunate, the homeless, things like that. They're basically patrolling and protecting their communities. So what ended up happening is that basically people found a bunch of old videos of Paul Birdsong. Like 5 years ago, he was in Langston, Michigan. I guess he was a Piru blood. He was out there banging, but then he was also supposedly protecting the community. So people were like, okay, which one is it? Are you a blood? Are you a Black Panther? People were basically calling him an agent and saying that it's not cool. He's trying to take over the Black Panther Party. He's not even Black. And then the niece of one of the Black Panthers came out. I forget her name. But she came out and said that she was going to sue him for using the Black Panther name. Fred Hampton. Fred Hampton's niece came out. And then people found out that she was a Trump supporter. So then a lot of people were like, okay, well, you're over here talking about him, but you're a whole Trump supporter. You're MAGA. You're walking around with with a MAGA hat on. Like, what the hell? You just can't make this shit up. It's just been like a lot of mess with this whole situation. So because of people basically going off on them, now the initial Black Panthers that he was cool with, they had allowed him to use the name. But because of all this backlash, they're not being allowed to use the Black Panther name anymore. So he posted this video yesterday on social media and it went viral. It's a bunch of mess, child. So this is what he has to say about the whole Black Panther drama. So let's go ahead and watch this video really quick. So this is his official statement.
Got a message from Aaron Dixon today saying that he no longer supports us. That after he gave me orders to make a video saying that him and other members were coming, that he withdrew his support. That he said that this situation is unimportant to him, even though my comrades have risked their lives and spent thousands of hours of their time and dollars in life standing behind a cause. He said he's going to make a statement saying no one has the right to call himself a Black Panther going forward. I told him to make sure that he put in that statement that he did, in fact, give us the right to call ourselves that, because I still have the messages where he did, just in case he doesn't. And I put in there also, make sure that you put in there that Emory Douglas did give us the right to wear that emblem, because I still have the messages where that happened too. But as it stands, because of that, because of me and my comrades risking our lives and all the heat that we went under, because of the counter-revolutionary practices, because we don't believe in Black nationalism, like Bobby Seale said in the video that I shared on my page earlier, that Black nationalism is acquiesced to racism, and that we don't stand like that we're internationalists and intercommunalists, just like Huey Newton said. We will no longer identify with this flag. We will no longer identify ourselves as the Black Panther Party for self-defense. We're going to take OG from the town's advice. We're going to take the name that he decided to put out there. We're going to call ourselves the Black Lion Party for International Solidarity. Reason for the international solidarity is because we will stand with the immigrants. We will stand with the people being terrorized for ICE. We will stand with any oppressed people across the world. We will keep feeding every single day, keep offering food every single day. We will keep patrolling the community with guns. We will keep stopping drug dealers, keep stopping sex traffickers. We will keep stopping police brutality. This little plaque that I got, it says Paul Birdsong, and as a Panther, it says since 2020. I don't regret the work that I've done because it's brought me to this point. But going forward, These Panther patches will no longer be on my uniforms. I got a message from Aaron Dixon today saying that he knows.
Okay, so y'all just heard his message. And forgive me, I meant Huey P. Newton's niece. I think I said Fred Hampton. Sorry about that. But this is the article here. So her name is Maisha Newton, but that's her with her Trump 2024 hat on. She's a big Trump supporter. So she's been trying to come out and defend being a Trump supporter. Let me see something in the article. She says here, okay, Newton, a California resident, has been very public with her support for Trump. In a post from April 2025, she praised the Trump White House for its various policies. I love everything they're doing. I haven't found one discrepancy yet, she said, of the Trump administration. I think it's absolutely great. And to be honest with you, I don't think that I am the only person that thinks everything you're doing is great, she added. Keep up the good work. So that is very strange that, her being the niece of Huey, that she's also a big, Trump supporter. I don't know. I just find that weird. But I know a lot of people are saying, like, these new Black Panthers, they're getting picked on. It's not okay. They're trying to do things for the community. Why are people being so negative? And I do feel like some of the people who are complaining are more or less, armchair revolutionaries. They're not really on the block doing too much or giving out food or trying to help the community. They're on social media complaining, right? So I get where that's coming from. But I do feel like people do have to be vetted, because the Black Panthers, that was something very serious, especially to the Black American community. That comes from their community. And so they have the right to gatekeep that. Because if you guys don't know, yes, the Black Panthers had other minorities next to them, right? So you had Mexican and Latino Panthers. You had Asian Panthers, right? But there was a very popular Asian Panther. His name, I believe, was Richard Palaoki. And so he stood on the steps with the Black Panthers. He was the gunman. So when Huey P. Newton and Fred Hampton, when they needed guns, they went to this Asian man to go get the guns. And so he ended up becoming a Black Panther. They really trusted him. His name was Richard Aoki. So they really trusted him. He stood alongside them. And for years, he preached. Let me show y'all just some of these pictures of him. For years, he preached at different colleges and things like that. He stood right alongside the Black Panthers. Okay, so that's them here. You see Asians, yellow. Peril supports Black Panthers, free Huey. But this is him right here. That's him. Him. Japanese radical cat, okay? So the problem is, though, in 2009, after speaking at different colleges and talking about how it was to be a Black Panther, he really was able to eat off of this, because he was one of the most famous, Black Panthers, especially of Asian descent. So he was able to make a whole legacy off of this. So what ended up happening is that when he died, somebody decided to do a Freedoms of Information Act on him. And come to find out, lo and behold, he was an informant. He was an FBI informant. So I think people have every right to be suspicious, because in 2009, this wasn't, 50 years ago. This was just, a few years ago, they found out that, Mr. Man was an FBI informant. Because this young man breaks it down. All right. So, for y'all thinking people are just being mean, I get why people are feeling away, because this has happened in the past. So let's listen.
Black Panthers did have non-black members that were in their ranks. Most notably was this man, Richard Aoki. He was Japanese, and he joined the Black Panthers very early, literally when they first started. He rose to the ranks of the Black Panthers relatively quick. He became a field marshal, and he was the only Asian American to have a formal leadership position in the Black Panthers. He ended up becoming an educator in California and also a school counselor. If you thought this was going to be a feel-good story, it's not. When he died in 2009, someone did a Freedom of Information Act request to see what the FBI had on him when he was a Black Panther. Come to find out, he was working for the FBI for 15 years. He was a confidential informant. He had been telling the FBI everything that he learned about the Black Panthers. It even says, informant is a stable young man showing traits of maturity and poise. He handles himself as an intelligent, trustworthy individual. In 1977, according to this document, he reached out to the FBI and said that he didn't want to seek any more information for them. This is about 5 years before the Black Panthers ceased operations, so they were already going downhill at this point. The Black Panthers did have non-black members that were...
Okay, so y'all just saw that. So I can't be mad if people feel like, you know what? Who are these new Black Panther guys? And what are their intentions? You know? Now, again, I've seen people in Philly comment and say that they really do be out there. They are really helping the community. So kudos to them for that. But I don't think they need to necessarily use the name Black Panther just to help the community. Somebody says it reminds them of sinners. Yeah, it does. But yeah, so I wanted y'all to know that, you know, like I said, I think the fact that they're doing stuff for the community is a good thing, and I would never knock anybody for that, you know. But I also feel like they use the name Black Panther because of its because people recognize the Black Panthers, the symbolism and stuff like that. So they're kind of using that name for clout as well. I think if they're really serious about moving forward, helping the community, helping out those who are disenfranchised, be the Black Lions. You know what I'm saying? Start your own organizations, your own grassroots, without riding off of the backs of the Black Panthers, okay? Now, if those original members gave them permission to use that name, then shame on those original members for giving them permission and then walking it back once the heat got hot. I don't respect that either. You know, if you gave them that permission, then so be it. But don't walk it back now that people are questioning things, because you should have questioned it from jump. So again, I don't want to question their intentions or what they're trying to do for the community, but they also need to understand that there has been people who have infiltrated the Black Panther movement, and the whole time they were working with the police. And that's what people are scared of. So I just wanted to, bring that aspect up for you guys who did not know that Asian guy that you see next to the Black Panthers back in the 60s was an informant. And people did not know that until 2009 when they ran a Freedoms of Information Act on him. And he had been an informant literally from day one. After he got them the guns that they used on City Hall, after that, because the police realized that's where they got the guns from, was from like his shop or his connections. And he was, shortly after that, he became an FBI informant. So the whole time he was in the Black Panther Party, he was also talking to the police. But what I find very interesting, I had to make this point. Okay, if y'all remember, back in 2021, who remembers this movie? Let me share my screen. And this was a really good movie. It pissed me off, I'm not going to lie. But what I find interesting is that they came up with this movie in 2021 to show how Black men basically infiltrated the movement and set, the Black Panthers up to be destroyed from the inside out. So my question is this. Now that we know that there was an Asian man who did the same thing, and his information, all this came out in 2009, when is Hollywood going to come up with the Judas, the Asian Messiah? Or am I wrong or am I reaching? Because, see, it's always cool to show how Black folks are crabs in a barrel and how we undermine each other. But when is Hollywood going to make Judas and the Asian Messiah? So, just a question. Just wondering. They're probably not going to make one, but I think they should. That would be very interesting. I would love to see it. I would pay to see it. I paid to see this one. So we'll see. We'll see if that ever comes to fruition.
If you want the latest news in the streets, join us and tune in for the tea. Breaking news with integrity. So tell your friends and your family. It's the Lovelyti TV show, bringing you good tea and good vibes. It's the Lovelyti TV show. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe.